And we begin this hour with overnight news from our nation's capital. Congress voting to secure a spending bill and avoid a government shutdown. The bipartisan bill coming together after 3 frenzied days of negotiations and affirmed just hours before the deadline. Here to break down the vote and all of the political implications is Zach Shonfeld, staff writer from our partners at thehill.com. Great to see you, Zach. This took some back and forth. Talk to me about the concessions that Speaker Johnson made with Republicans and, of course, then Democrats to get this deal across the finish line.
Hey, Hannah. Speaker Johnson was able to avert a government shutdown here at the 11th hour. This bill got through the House with a large margin, 366 to 34, both Democrats and Republicans voting for it. But that only came after the Speaker gave up some major concessions. Chief among them is the fact that this bill does not include any extension of the debt ceiling, this being the maximum amount that the federal government is allowed to borrow. That had been a major demand from President-elect Trump. He had been pushing Republicans this week to either eliminate the debt ceiling altogether or at least extend it. He didn't want to have to worry about that once he takes the presidency. But because this didn't make it into the final version of the bill, that means that when we get into this next Congress, this is going to return as a headache. And as we've seen over the past few days, these fights around the debt limit and spending can cause quite a lot of chaos. That's going to be another headache for Republicans as they have the majority heading into this next Congress. But at least for now, Speaker Johnson did get some wins. We do not have a government shutdown. He was able to pass this bill that keeps the government funded through March. This bill also, on top of that, includes $100 billion in disaster aid and $10 billion in farm aid. But that debt ceiling battle will have to wait for another day.
Zach, let's move on to Elon Musk. We can't talk politics these days without talking about him. What do we know about the involvement and influence he had in this process?
Certainly a major figure here, really influencing these negotiations. He, along with the president-elect, was really responsible for torpedoing what was really Plan A, this bipartisan deal that was negotiated between Speaker Johnson and Democrats. It was originally a much larger bill. It was about 1,500 pages in length. It did not only just fund the government, it also had a lot of different policy additions on top of that, like reforms for pharmacy benefit managers, also included pay raises for Congress. And so now you've seen Elon Musk really trying to throw his influence around. Once he tried to torpedo that bill and successfully did so by issuing tweet after tweet after tweet attacking it until Republicans abandoned that plan. And now we've seen Elon Musk taking a victory lap. He was tweeting yesterday as this bill went through the House, retweeting people who were calling this a major victory, and even just posting photos of just showing the stacks of paper of the original size of the bill, which was about 1,500 pages, and comparing that to the stack of papers that ultimately passed, which was only about 100 pages in length. So certainly a big win for Musk here as he got his way with his influence, despite not being in office.
And one of the many reasons people might be calling him President-elect Musk these days. Let's move on to GOP members questioning Mike Johnson's leadership. Zach, I have to ask, how close is he to the possibility of losing this position?
He really is in real danger here and could possibly lose the speakership. So now that Republicans have been able to fund the government, Congress is headed home for the holidays. But when we come back in early January in this new Congress, the first matter of business in the House will be to decide whether Speaker Johnson can keep the gavel. And we've already seen one House Republican, Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky. He has come out in firm opposition to Johnson, saying that he will not vote for him. And we've also seen several other House Republicans not giving him yet their full endorsement. So this really could be a real battle like we saw play out with Speaker Kevin McCarthy. So that'll be a big battle that plays out in early January when Republicans are going to have a very slim margin in the House, only by a few seats. So attendance is going to be a big factor here. We've seen before where a member of Congress will have a health challenge or some other curveball that throws them out. And so really the numbers here are just going to be really tight, and it's going to be quite a story to watch in January.
And we will be watching very closely. Zach Shonfeld, thank you so much. And thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.